First off, this is my first video I've ever done, and the only reason I'm doing it now instead of a long time ago was because I didn't feel any need to defend me when it didn't matter. But now that things have changed and Mac is gone, I just feel like I need to set the record straight. And the reason that Zane and I separated from the trip, and he knows it as well as I do, is because we were arguing a lot over how he was treating Mac. He got to doing things that I never knew he did, and I think that changed him. But he was being physically mean to Mac, and it was so hot out when we were walking, and Mac would be so hot that he would be trying to get in people's cars and to walk in businesses. Zane would be jerking him and things like that, and we'd get in fights about it, and he'd say Mac was no hotter than he was, when truth be known, Mac was hotter than we were because he had to sweat through his feet, and he had to have those shoes on because his feet would get burned if not. But with them shoes, it kept him from sweating like he needed to. Not to mention, he wasn't watering him as much as he needed to. And I really feel like that is a big part of what happened to Mac. I told a couple people just a few weeks before Mac died that I knew something was going to happen to Mac, and I knew it was. I felt it in my stomach because Zane was not doing what he should have been doing. And all you people out there that think that Zane was so good to Mac, until he spent some time with Mac and Zane, you really had no idea. Believe me, you have no idea what even begin to be going on with Mac and Zane. Yes, Mac did love him, but that was before Zane started treating Mac shitty. That's why Zane and I was getting into it all the time. That, and because of Queervo. I said Queervo. Queervo because he is queer, which is nothing wrong with being queer. I have nothing against it at all. I love gay people. I have a gay uncle that died that I loved very much. I have gay friends now. Queervo knows why he's Queervo. Anyway, I just had to set the record straight as to what happened with me and Zane and what happened with Zane and Mac. I never got violent with Zane. That's why y'all never saw any video footage of that happening. You only heard that out of his mouth. As if you recall, see it in the video, you only see me laying on the ground arguing with him about telling the truth. And the truth was, at that point, he's telling me the truth hurts. Well, okay, if the truth hurts, then why don't you be honest, Zane, with Queervo here, about what you really feel about him. That pissed Zane off. So Zane got up, threw all my shit out of what he had mixed in with mine, threw all my shit on the ground, and they just up and left me at the Walmart in Calexico by myself with nothing. Yeah, I had my food stamp card. Whoop-de-doo. I couldn't speak any Spanish, so I couldn't get anybody to understand what I was saying. I couldn't understand them. The phones that I tried to use wouldn't call out. I finally did see a guy who allowed me to use his phone to get a hold of some friends, who then came and got me, who was very pissed off because Zane had promised to them that no matter what happened between us or anything else, that he would make sure that I got home safely. And he didn't. he lied. He straight up lied. He just left me there and didn't care how I got home or what happened to me. And the reason we got into it that morning was because we fell asleep and Mac was tied to Zane. And when we woke up, or I woke up, Mac was gone. And I was like, oh my God, where's Mac? Zane jumps up and we're both looking for him. And Zane goes off and Zane comes back with Mac and like everything's okay. But as soon as he gets Mac over there by where we were, he picks Mac up by his feet and he slammed him on his side really hard to the point to where I never saw Mac just lay there and not move. Even in an uncomfortable position, he was scared to move. I never saw Mac act like that. And he didn't even move. And the whole time that Mac was gone, he's somewhere in another part of behind Walmart where we wasn't Calexico with Cuervo, who had came over later by himself. But instead of Cuervo coming to let us know that he had Mac, he lets us come looking for him and he lets that happen. And Zane's like, oh, it's Mac's fault. Mac knows better, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't give a fuck. You don't fucking treat Mac like that. You don't treat any dog like that. Being physically mean to them is not going to make them do any better at all. But Zane seemed to think so. I saw Zane a couple of times grab Mac by his nose and squeeze so hard and grit his teeth talking to him so many times. And that's another reason me and Zane got into it all the time. See, Zane's not telling you any of this. He's not telling you none of this. And he made it out like in these videos, oh, we got kicked out of another motel because of Mac. We only got kicked out of one motel because of something Mac done. And that was because Mac whined and howled the whole time we was gone shopping. And the whole time we was gone, I kept saying, don't we need to get back? Don't we need to get back? Zane didn't give a fuck. He did not give a shit whatsoever. None. Of course, Mac had to pay for that. And all the other motels that we had to leave or we couldn't stay in, it was all Mac's fault. Even though Mac didn't do a damn thing except look like he did. I feel like Mac is dead because of me. Because I put him in that situation. Had I known that Zane was going to turn out to be the way he was, I would have never given him to Zane. Never. Never. Because it took everything I had to give that dog up. I love that dog more than myself. I feel like I gave birth to that dog. And if I didn't love him, I would have never given him up. In the first couple weeks that I did give him up, I hid in the bushes watching them like some pedophile or something to make sure that Zane wasn't going to mistreat him because I didn't know Zane. Well, he didn't. He did really good with him, and I was proud of the fact that I'd done something right until the end. Did Andre and I try to go over to Mexico and steal Mac? Yes, we did. And the reason we did was because Zane went online talking about he was gone on some trip and left Mac with Cuervo. Cuervo can't even take care of himself, let alone Mac. Mac is not the kind of dog you can just leave with anybody or just anywhere. You cannot do that with a dog like Mac, especially over in there in Mexico. There's so many people that want Mac. They thought that Mac was beautiful, blah, blah, blah. But all them people wanted him for was to fight him or to eat him. People walk by talking about burrito, pointing at Mac burrito. That's some bullshit. Cuervo is the last person that I would leave. I wouldn't leave my fucking ant collection with fucking Cuervo, let alone Mac. Now that clears up that part. I never got violent with Zane. He can say that I did, but it's not true. That's why he never answered any of your questions whenever y'all or whoever was asking, what caused her to get violent? What happened? Yeah, he never told you that because he didn't fucking want you to know the truth. I didn't really feel the need to go on there and defend myself because it didn't matter. But now that Mac's gone, and I feel like he's gone because of Zane's bullshit, now I felt like it was time to defend Mac and I. Mac was a very healthy dog. There was nothing wrong with him. And if he did die of being bitten by something or whatever, it's still because Zane left him. I don't guess he bothered to tell y'all that Mac was by himself when he died too. He had nobody there. Nobody. He was all alone. Nobody. And I'm sorry, y'all, but this kills me. This breaks my heart. Anyway, Zane is not